You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, the sharks of Las Vegas. No, the real ones. And how to custom craft a tinfoil hat.
Yep, I finally stopped dyeing my hair or bleaching it or anything that women do that men don't.
No, some men do. Rudy Giuliani.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, why guys don't bleach their beards.
Huh.
Or dye them dark. Or because don't you think it's weird to see a guy with dark hair and a gray beard?
I just don't look at guys with beards. I see the beard, I stop looking. I'm not sure what that's about. I met the spousal unit when he had a beard, and I almost didn't look at him twice, but I had been to therapy and I had been told, go against your type. So I looked at a guy with a beard, but in general, no, thank you. No. So no, I don't notice because I see the beard and my eyes just it's kind of like WD-30 for my glance. I see the beard and the eyes keep moving.
So back to the hair.
Yeah.
Now I grew up, my mom told me her hair started turning gray at 25. And for the entire time that I knew my mom, she dyed her hair. And because she started out with black hair, I guess, she always dyed it black.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always really, really noticeable. Because once you get to be a certain age, you don't dye your hair black because it doesn't make you look older. Or younger. It makes you look like you're an older person with really black hair, like Rudy Giuliani. That's you.
Yeah.
I was bleaching my hair because I liked having white hair.
Well, now you're going to have silver hair. It's the next best thing and a lot cheaper.
Yep. Now I'm letting it grow out.
You'll be amazed at how patient you have to be. Once you leave, this is my word of wisdom to you. Once you decide to just let it go gray, you're going to be like, okay, I'm ready for it to be gray now. Okay, it's been 6 months. I'm ready for it to be gray now. It's been a freaking year.
I chopped it all off because the gray will grow out faster.
No, it doesn't. It's not like the
hair.
No.
Well, that's my theory. So don't
you feel like the weight of your hair somehow slows down, like hauling a heavy object or something. Or,
well, no,
by your logic, the longer your hair is, the faster it should grow out gray because it's pulling on it.
Well, I cut it off because of this lovely cast on my right hand.
Ah, yes.
And therefore, I can't brush it. I can't comb it. I can't straighten it. I can't blow dry it. And by the end of the time this cast came off, I'd look like one of those witches from the scary kid movies with giant rat nest head. So when it's short like this, it can just be curly, and I can look at the top and say, see, the silver is going to grow out
Yeah, it's going to look really pretty. So the spousal unit is away, and I am bouncing around this house like a human ping pong ball, doing the tasks of everyone. And right about now, I would like to give the chickens away. They don't do anything.
Why?
They just eat and poop and eat. That's all they do. And we take such good care of them, and they don't lay eggs in the winter. And now they've mostly been through henopause. So we do all this work. We get about 8 eggs a year now. And I don't know.
Who's going to want them? Who wants chickens that don't
know
lay
I'm
eggs?
not giving them away. I'm not. They're here.
Don't eat them either.
No, we don't eat them either. They're here until they come to the end of their natural lives. But I'm starting to follow the spousal edict now. No more chickens. But it's a lot of work.
I have a website address for you, and it's a lady who makes little hats for chickens. If your chickens need hats.
Someone else sent me a cute little thing of you can bring your chicken in the house by using one of those face masks that we all got for COVID as a diaper. I'm like, why do I want a chicken in my house? Why?
And how do you change a chicken diaper?
There's a whole road we can go down here, and I'm just telling you that I am at this point the human ping pong ball, and at the point where you're just chucking things on your schedule out of the canoe,
yep.
you start to be glad about stuff you shouldn't be glad about. Like,
Pike.
The dog, whom I love dearly, recently did what would be for people a tear in the ACL, but for dogs it's a partial tear.
Hmm.
So they get now. She's on very low exercise, which is great because instead of a
Yeah,
half an
'cause you
hour
don't have
walk,
to
I'm like
walk
done.
very far.
You pooped. We're going home.
As our listeners know, I've been in the middle of dog wars
Yes,
with the bulldog who
yes,
hates our big old dog for some
yes.
reason. And all they want to do is bite each other and jump around and make a lot of noise. Well, I finally broke down. I bought one of those dog crates that looks like furniture.
Oh
Have you
yeah,
seen
yeah,
that?
yeah. I've
It's
seen them.
and so everyone said don't lock her up when she does that. I'm locking her up. I'm over it. I cannot. I just we have the gate with the blanket
Wait,
over
wait,
it. And
wait,
now
wait.
she's figured
I
out how
want
to
to
pull the
know
blanket off.
who told you not to crate your dog. Who?
Oh, you're not supposed to crate them when they're bad as punishment.
Well, that's only if you want them to love the crate.
I don't care what she thinks about the crate.
There
I'm
you
just
go.
tired of her
That's right.
attacking
That's
poor old
that's
me.
right. That's what it all depends on how you envision the crate. If you imagine the crate as like a spa for the dog, where it goes for peace and solitude and maybe a scented,
Yeah,
incense.
that won't happen.
Yeah, right. So in that
My
case,
crate's going to have a sign that says bully box on it.
that's a
And
good one. I like that.
whenever she's a bully, that's where she's going.
Here's the rule for pets. Whatever works.
That's how I feel, except for no hitting.
No, 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 no. Just like little kids. No trip to the car wash for you.
To the car wash.
Car wash. I still remember there used to be a bank in Chicago where you drove in to do your drive-in banking and then your car was on a turntable and it would turn your car around so you could drive
Oh
out
my
again.
gosh.
And we kids thought it was like the best. We called it the turnaround bank, which has
That's
a
so cool.
completely different financial meaning now. But the turnaround bank was what we called it. And we used to beg. I mean, I'm sure my parents never liked not having much money, but I'll bet they went in and like deposited $5 just so we could
Go on the turnaround.
be entertained. Yeah, the things you do and it's easy to entertain your kids if you have a lot of money. You just throw activities or stuff at them. But if you don't have a lot of money, that's when you have to really start making and part of it is just marketing. Like, look,
Right.
the car is going to turn around, or look, the car is going to have rain coming into it. Isn't that amazing? Rain and pink
Well,
soap. Wow, look at that pink soap. Woo.
the
Yeah.
car wash in Kalamazoo
Yeah.
was called the Shark Wash. And on either side were giant tanks with sharks swimming.
Really?
Yeah.
Real
I
life
don't know how they
sharks?
maintained that for years and years.
Like
And
actual sharky sharks, like
yes,
saltwater sharks?
yeah. Yeah, it's like going to the Golden Nugget in Vegas and you go down the slide between the sharks. Wow.
Wait, stop right there.
Yeah.
There is there is a casino where to gamble you pass by a wall of swimming sharks. That seems like a bad look for a casino.
Yeah. Well, over in one side. And then when you go to the
No,
pool,
that just
you go down a big slide
into the
with
sharks.
sharks on either side of you
Yeah.
behind
Oh,
glass.
see, I would imagine that to go down to gamble and see sharks on either side, and maybe this is just because I'm neurotic, but I would be imagining like, oh, I lose all my money and I starve to, and they throw my bones to these sharks after I lose everything.
Well,
This is what happens. Or, I mean, the connotation, loan shark. I mean, think of all the bad sharky things that go along with
that's
gambling.
true.
I
And
would
they call the very, very rich gamblers whales in Vegas.
see.
So you got whales and sharks.
All of these metaphors that come to life and not in a good way in Las Vegas if you put sharks. I don't know. Maybe this is another reason I don't gamble. I'm way too literal. Way too literal. I'm still imagining like,
Use the
okay,
words.
it's time for the 5 o'clock shark feeding.
Yeah.
Morris from New Jersey is the Sharks dinner tonight. Morris came with a 30 large to gamble here in our casino.
You know, when I went to the Denver Zoo, my favorite spot was like where all the sharks and fish were, though. The other day I was just looking because it came up in memories. I must have 150 pictures of fish and sharks from the Denver Zoo. I'm like, why did I take all these?
I don't think that you have any pictures of them feeding the bones of Maury, who lost 30 large in Vegas. And
That's true.
I would look at that picture. There's a picture a lot of people don't have. I'm sure
I think I would probably jump in the Shark Tank if I lost that much.
Well, there's another way to go.
Yes.
I was thinking that Maury leaps off the scenic rooftop deck and straight into the Shark Tank. There are a lot of ways to do it, I think. I don't want to think. So under my no good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah.
I think I told you that there's a crazy person who showed up at our congregation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, this is the awful part. I think I told you she has my phone number because before we knew she was crazy, I was going to offer her some hospitality.
Yeah.
So because she's crazy and has no money and is living in a shelter, she likes to call from other people's phones, so I can't block her.
She's like a bill collector. One of those. We have pre-approved you for blah 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 blah.
Except she wants to call and tell me, because she is mentally ill, she wants to call and tell me, which government is following her with secret cameras.
A box of aluminum foil.
Here you go. Well, lately, there's always somebody in a community who volunteers for the desperate cases.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not me. The person who volunteered, who doesn't really realize what she's in for. I got a call from the crazy person saying, the thing about the crazy person is she always thinks it'll be better somewhere else. And then she collects a bunch of money and she goes there. And then it's equally, they're stalking her there too, invariably. And so she wants to come back, and then you get a call asking for a bus ticket or a train ticket. I did one round of this, and they called me from a homeless shelter in some other city and said, "This is your friend who would like a ticket." And I said, "No, she's not my friend, and I bought her a ticket." And I believe the exact phrase I used was, "This is the limit of my financial involvement." So anyway, the person who takes all the hopeless cases apparently offered to drive her to some distant city. Oh my God. And
it means she's stuck in a car with her.
I know. And I'm like, and I will also say that the person who volunteers for the desperate cases is not my favorite person in the community. So I had the little angel going, tell her she's locking herself in the car with a crazy person who believes the government is planting wires in her breasts. And the other part of me went, no, they deserve each other. They completely deserve each other. Let them go. Let them go. Let them enjoy their 12-hour drive. And so I got a phone call, this time from a public library. The volunteer, the always volunteer for the desperate cases, had offered this ride, but the crazy person isn't going to take her up on it because she's convinced that the volunteer is working for a foreign government and is actually going to be spying.
Hey.
I shouldn't laugh. Mental illness is not really something you should laugh at, but there is part of me
sometimes.
Sometimes. Yes, exactly. So I didn't want to call up the nice volunteer who I don't particularly care for. So I let it be known via a back channel that if this nice volunteering person for all the hopeless causes does lock herself in the car with the crazy person, that she is now under suspicion of working for a foreign government and spying and implanting hidden cameras. So I think
Make sure she has foil. A generic box of aluminum foil, 79 cents.
A generic box of aluminum foil. Yeah, I think you've solved it. Yeah, thank you. You've been listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast, and you probably know about my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. Now there's an audiobook, so you can have me with you on long drives or short commutes, and you can download it from Amazon. It also makes a lovely gift.